And pinch hitter Josh Donaldson drove in the tie-breaking run with a sac fly in the 6th to give the Yankees a 7-6 come from behind.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Yeah, see, I don't think Jimmy Butler's a potato. And what I mean by that is bland. Like, I think the Joker, I know you basketball players and you love his style, but he's a potato. And the potato might be the worst thing without something on it.
Extra mayo for me, please.
But Joker just a potato. You gonna have to dress it up a lot of different ways.
If he's a potato, he's like a truffle mashed potato.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
No, but Max, you putting something on it.
Yeah.
You got something on
too
it.
much pop on it.
John J. Will and Max, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're on ESPNU. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. And joined now by my old friend Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated senior writer and the Volume Sports. Chris, no one better to run into than Chris Mannix for me. We talk basketball and boxing all day. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
What's happening, guys?
Chris, so hold on, Jay, before you try to get me in trouble.
No, I had nothing to say about it. I
just want to explain to Chris, because Chris is probably sitting there going, what the hell is Keyshawn talking about? I call Joker a potato because his game is bland. And you know, when you have potatoes and you don't put anything on it, they're just whatever. They're good. They're on every menu, no matter what restaurant you go in, because you got to have it.
Services.com/go to learn more.
Wednesday on Fitz and Harry, I knew it was cold in Buffalo, but in June, the latest on Diggs and the Bills.
Plus, why another star quarterback is focused on his rival?
Jimmy G?
Hell no.
Fitz and Harry, Wednesday, noon Eastern, ESPN Radio, and watch on the ESPN app.
Wednesday on Canty and Carlin, the Nuggets are champions, but is their blueprint one other teams can replicate?
And the season over means NBA summer begins. Who will land Damian Lillard?
It's Wednesday, Canty and Carlin, 3 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Do you ever wish that you could get closer to the world of sports? Well, with the ESPN app, you're one app and one tap away from the action. You can get live scores and stats for your NBA team, or follow your favorite golfer as she launches off the tee. You even get 24/7 coverage of the biggest NFL plays. So what are you waiting? Oh, sorry, I got carried away. So what are you waiting for? Download the ESPN app and get closer than ever.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Hey, Jen, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for gas.
Yeah, I can't believe how much it costs for gas now.
I know, everyone's still talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yeah, I earn back up to 25 cents a gallon every time I buy gas.
What? That sounds like it could really add up.
It sure does. I've made over $300 already.
Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR3 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR3 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR3 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Yeah, see, I don't think Jimmy Butler's a potato. And what I mean by that is bland. Like, I think the Joker, I know you basketball players and you love his style, but he's a potato. And the potato might be the worst thing without something on it.
Extra mayo for me, please.
But Joker just a potato. You gonna have to dress it up a lot of different ways.
If he's a potato, he's like a truffle mashed potato.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
No, but Max, you putting something on it.
Yeah. Put
You got something
too
on
much
it.
pop on it.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. We're on ESPNU. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. And joined now by my old friend Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated senior writer and the Volume Sports. Chris, no one better to run into than Chris Mannix for me. We talk basketball and boxing all day. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
What's happening, guys?
Chris, hold on, Jay, before you try to get me in trouble.
No, I had nothing to say about it. I
just want to explain to Chris, because Chris is probably sitting there going, what the hell is Keyshawn talking about? I call Joker a potato because his game is bland. And, you know, when you have potatoes and you don't put anything on it, they're just whatever. They're good. They're on every menu, no matter what restaurant you go in, because you got to have it. You got to have Joker, no matter what. He's a staple, just like a potato is. That's all I wanted to say. So don't want you thinking, I'm disrespecting the man's game, because I'm not. It's just
understood.
Bland,
so, Chris,
is it understood, Chris?
I want to get into my all-time
sort of.
I want to get into my all-time rankings and where I have Jokic, and I want to explain it. Okay. NBA all-time, the top 5. I have guys who at one time or another were considered by a lot of people to be the greatest player ever. Okay. So Jordan 1, LeBron 2, Kareem 3, Bill Russell 4, Wilt 5. Okay. And then I have, rounding out the top 10, guys who were multiple MVP, final MVP, best player of their time. Magic, Kobe, Bird, Shaq, Steph. Duncan should probably be in there somewhere. Couldn't figure out where, so I have him 11. Then I have 3 more guys I think are immovably in the top 15 as of now. Multiple championships, finals MVPs, the whole thing, right? Moses Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, although I'd have Hakeem should be 12, Moses should be 13, and KD. Okay, so I think those 14 I'm very comfortable saying are the top 14. And there are various candidates for the 15th slot. They should be the best player in the game for several years, right? They should be the man on a championship team, the guy. So KG, Jerry West, Dirk Nowitzki, Giannis, David Robinson, although really Tim Duncan was the guy on those teams. But like there are guys like that, and I have others, Dr. J, and for various reasons, Oscar Robertson and Isaiah Thomas. But I think Jokic, Chris, given the fact he could have easily won 3 consecutive league MVPs and just had one of the greatest postseasons ever, I'd put him at 15. Where are you with that?
I think that's reasonable. For me, and I haven't given too much thought to placement, but I would have him at the very least inside the top 25. And because of what you said there, that he very easily could have been a 3-time MVP, I would lean towards keeping him in that top 20. I think he's automatically on, if you want to pivot to a tier, he's automatically on that Kevin Garnett tier, the Dirk Nowitzki tier, the tier of guys that have won at least one MVP and, to your point, have been a dominant player in this league for X number of years, arguably the best player in the league for X number of years. So I think he's automatically on that tier. And what's impressive, for Jokic is that he has so much room to grow here. Like, he's 28 years old, and you would anticipate, barring injury, him being on the MVP list, MVP short list for at least the next 2 or 3 years. And because of the depth of this team, be in a deep playoff situation for at least the next 2 or 3 years. So I guess it's a long-winded way of saying I don't disagree with any assessment that has him in the top 15. I wouldn't be as quick to put him there just yet, but he's certainly inside the top 25 and probably inside the top 20.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Chris, last year, all we talked about was the fact that Jokic won 2 back-to-back MVPs and fizzled out in the playoffs. And you said, hey, he needs a championship to validate the regular season greatness, because at the end of the day, we don't really care about the regular season. We care about the postseason. So with that being the case, now that he's won a championship, who do you think in the NBA, player-wise, needs the championship the most coming into next year?
Oh, good. Good question. Who needs it the most? I mean, he was the guy that you kept pointing to for the last few years because of the way Denver fizzled. And as you well know, a lot of that was really unfair. I mean, I thought
Agreed.
I thought this year was the first year that you could criticize Nikola Jokic if his team failed. I mean, the last couple of years, you go back 2 years when Jamal Murray went out days before the playoffs started. Murray out all of last year, the Porter Jr. injuries as well. Like he until this season, he never really had a team that you would say that team is built to win a championship. If you lose, you are going to be considered an underachiever. And he didn't. He achieved. They rolled 16-4 through the playoffs, so that comes off the board. Top of my head, I would probably say Embiid is now that guy.
Yep, agreed.
Because, I mean, look, Embiid, I voted for Embiid for MVP last year because I thought Embiid's navigating of the Ben Simmons drama should have been taken into account when you were considering him for MVP. But, there was this idea in the water supply for months that, Embiid was the better playoff performer than Jokic, when the reality was he had never been to a conference finals and Jokic had up until that point. So I think with the kind of talent that Philly has and probably will have next year, I think that pressure squarely falls on the shoulders of Joel Embiid because, he has look back at this past playoffs, like he has come up short, like being up 3-2 against Boston, losing on your home floor, getting, played off of the floor in a game 7 because Boston kept running pick and rolls at you. I know there are injury issues, but yeah, I think next year it becomes the target kind of hits Joel Embiid's back pretty squarely.
Chris, plus keep in mind, like he's 29, he's big with an injury history, and he's just like Jokic, a championship, he would start shooting up the all-time list because as Jokic is the most skillful big ever on offense, when you take the whole package, offense plus defense and size, Embiid is the guy just had one of the greatest seasons of all time statistically. So if he got a championship, it would like Jokic retroactively shine a different light on what he's done so far. He'd immediately become an all-time great, I think.
I would agree because if that happens, he is going to be he will play as big a role as Jokic did this year. Like would have to be the dominant player on a championship team. He will be the finals MVP on a championship team. I just think he's got to elevate, that team. And look, it's as tougher for Embiid in that conference because coming back next year, I mean, everybody's coming to play. I mean, I think Boston is going to come back better. I think Milwaukee is going to come back better. Miami is still going to be lurking out there as a threat. It's not going to be easy, but when you're talking about the pressure, I can't think of anyone right now that would face more of it next season than Joel Embiid.
Chris, so like you made mention of a team in Boston. Like, isn't there a lot of pressure on Jason Tatum too? And I know that obviously going from a big that now people are considering to be one of the all-time greatest bigs to ever play the game in Jokic, it's easy for it to translate right to Joel Embiid. And I get not coming out of the second round, but you can also make the case that it seems like Philly, their franchise and management gets in the way too, right? From decisions that they made before in the past and the injury history. But how about Boston, the core that's been together for the longest, right? And gotten to an NBA Finals to inevitably see Jason Tatum not be able to do it on that biggest stage. And I get that he's 25, but also for them to be down 3-1 to Miami this year, like where is the pressure on Boston and Tatum as well?
Yeah, Jay, I think they're right behind Philadelphia. That was what I was kind of cycling through as I'm thinking about the pressure. I mean, that, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, that combination, I think they're next on that list. I do think, in the aftermath of Game 5, sitting in that press room, listening to Nikola Jokic talk about the journey, I kind of started to think about Boston a little bit when he was doing that. Like, the Nuggets have been through so many ebbs and flows, changes to the roster because some pieces didn't work, the patience needed while Jamal Murray was out to get to this point. They went through the fire to get here. They faced a lot of criticism to get here. And, Boston has faced a lot of the same things. They've been the bridesmaid for, several years now, whether it's the conference finals or coming up short in the finals. This feels like a year where, they could have it all kind of come together because of the experiences they've been through. I agreed with the decision to bring back Joe Mazzulla because I thought a lot of the criticism on Joe Mazzulla was largely unfair because the guy was 34 years old and thrust into an incredibly difficult situation with a coaching staff around him that wasn't the strongest in the NBA because of the brain drain. Now you add guys like Sam Cassell, who's going to help, guys like Charles Lee, who's going to help. I think some of the pieces, if Boston brings this group back together, I see no reason why they wouldn't at this point. I think there's a lot of reason to believe a lot of reason to believe in the Celtics going into next year. But again, they are, even despite Tatum's age and despite Jaylen Brown's age, there will be a lot of pressure on them to deliver after coming up short the number of years they have.
Chris Mannix. Yeah, go ahead, Key.
Chris, in order for Miami to get back in this position and try to bring the trophy back east, who do they need to go after? Bradley Beal or Lillard or somebody else to add some offense to what they already have?
It's funny, Keisha. I've heard the last couple of days, like, will Miami go looking for that big fish? Miami always looks for the big fish. Like they always go hunting for that type of player. I mean, oftentimes they come up short and don't get him, but every offseason, because that's the mindset of Pat Riley, they go out looking to make a big splash. I think the problem is they don't have a lot to offer when it comes to acquiring a Bradley Beal or acquiring a Damian Lillard. I mean, these trade packages that are likely going to be centered around Tyler Hero, they're not bad, but when you're looking at a player of that caliber, the other packages are just going to be significantly bigger. There are going to be teams that can offer better players and more draft capital if and when Damian Lillard becomes available. So similarly in Washington, if and when Bradley Beal becomes available, there are going to be teams that offer better packages there. I mean, I hate to discount Miami's chances of doing this again because we just did that months ago when they got into the playoffs. But the challenge of doing what they did as whatever they might be next year, a 6, 7, or 8 seed, is going to be enormous. Jimmy Butler's going to be 34 years old in September. Kyle Lowry is going to be a year older. I just they're going to have to get real creative to bring somebody in that fits to be back in this spot next year. And just looking for one of those big trades, those names you mentioned, I just don't know how realistic that is, given how robust the market for those players is going to be.
One of the best in the business, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Mannix, Sports Illustrated senior writer and The Volume Sports. Thanks, Chris.
Anytime, guys.
I can't
All right,
think
Chris.
of the actor he looks like. I'm just sitting here trying to.
An actor that Chris looks like?
Yeah. Is it Rob Lowe?
No. Zac Efron?
No, it's an actor, but I can't think of him.
Right now, Nikola Jokic is on top of the mountain, but a new king gets crowned, it seems like, every year nowadays. Who's next? KJM.
They're not going to foul. The Heat will let it play out. It's over. At last, the long wait is over. After 47 years, the Denver Nuggets can finally call themselves NBA champions.
More Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Next.
There are lots of problems that could be plaguing your mouth that keep you from smiling. Made Ya Smile is so named because they want you to smile again. You have crooked teeth, broken teeth, discolored teeth. You have receding gums. You have problems with your teeth. Go get them taken care of. MadeYaSmile.com. My dentist. There's a location near you. Lumineers, implants, veneers, teeth whitening, crowns, dentures. They do it all. MadeYaSmile.com. When you're building your custom home, your dream home, your forever home, then you have in mind a certain idea as to what that home's going to look like, and you just hope that when they get finished, that they got somewhere near what you wanted. But Design Tech Homes, locally owned and operated, invested in technology to create virtual reality. So you put these goggles on and you walk through your home before they ever break ground, so you get the home you wanted. And that's pretty amazing. DTH.com.
Wireless headphones. That'll be $200.
I'll use my Capital One Quicksilver card.
Now that's a hit. You used the Capital One Quicksilver card, which makes you the hero of every purchase. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere.
I wanted running music, but unlimited 1.5% cash back is pretty heroic.
Good instincts. Every hero needs a theme song. The Capital One Quicksilver card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At the Home Depot, we take Father's Day seriously. Why not get doing and give Dad a gift card that gets him out of the house and into new projects? Because the dads who do the most deserve the most, whether he's into woodworking, yard work, or grilling up something for the family. A Home Depot gift card gives your dad the power to get everything he needs to keep doing the most. Shop today for a gift that powers Dad at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Dr. Rick here. If you find yourself getting particular about where you get the weather, you may be turning into your parents.
Looks like it might rain. Let's see what Corey from Channel 2 has to say. He's something else. I like him better than Harris from Channel 5.
You could just look up the weather on your phone.
I like Corey from Channel 2.
Progressive can't help you from becoming your parents, but we can help you compare rates on home insurance with Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Whether you're doing a dance to your favorite artist in the office parking lot, or being guided into Warrior One in the break room before your shift, whether you're running on your Peloton tread at your mom's house while she watches the baby, or counting your breaths on the subway.
Inhaling and long exhaling.
Peloton is for all of us, wherever we are, whenever we need it. Download the free Peloton app today. Peloton app available through free tier or paid subscription starting at $12.99 per month.
It's Macy's Father's Day sale. Take an extra 25% off great gifts for every dad with your coupon or Macy's card. Or shop Father's Day specials like 40 to 50% off classic styles from INC, Alfani, and more. 25 to 40% off activewear essentials from Adidas, Reebok, and more. And 40% off designer watches. Want more deals? Download the free Macy's app by saying, Alexa, open Macy's now. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
I can't keep this in anymore. I can't even believe I'm saying this, to be honest. You know you can tell.
Congratulations, you're the 2023 NBA champions.
All the sacrifice, all the dedication, all culminated with us winning a championship. But I got news for everybody out there. We're not satisfied with one. We want more.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, we are coming to you live from the Seaport, brought to you by Grey Goose. So right now, Nikola Jokic is on top of the mountain. He's the best player in basketball. Last year it was Steph. The year before it was Giannis, right? You know, Kawhi had a case. LeBron. Every year it seems this thing's getting passed around, and because LeBron has declined, the rest of the league is now in a position to say maybe this is the best guy. You know, for years it was like LeBron, return, everyone else. Then LeBron came back to the pack. Now this thing's getting passed around. Talk about potatoes, Key, like a hot potato every year.
Yeah, I was laughing at that video. I hear you though, Max. I bet you Gordon Jay wouldn't have been walking in the month of February in Denver with no shirt on. Through the crowd, moving that slow.
By the way, a guy like Aaron Gordon is a pillar on that team. Now, you have Jokic and Murray are obviously the two pillars, but you have a guy in Aaron Gordon who only cares about winning. Type of dude who grabs the rebounds, does the dirty work, scores when when in the flow of the game, don't have to draw plays for him. Great teammate and defends the best player on the other team. Like with those three guys now, and I'd say he's one of those three guys now. It should be easy for them to plug and play 3-and-D guys around them. So who's going to be crowned king next year, Jay?
So this is why I love this, because every year I feel like a new king gets crowned. So 3 years ago, we saw Giannis get crowned. Before that, after that, we saw Steph get crowned. And obviously now we've crowned a new king. So I'm going to give you my top 5 people in the race to be crowned the king going into next season. Number 5, Jason Tatum, man. I mean, we've seen the Boston Celtics get there. We saw them get to the NBA Finals 2 years ago. We saw Jason Tatum not have a great performance. We just had Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated come on, talk about the road of frustration, a new head coach for the Boston Celtics this year, obviously with Joe Mazzulla, everything that happened with Ime Udoka. And we saw them lose to a less talented Miami Heat team because you're questioning around Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Can they work together? And their lack of half-court execution. So Jason Tatum is number 5 on that list to me about being crowned a king going into next season. Next
Number
up,
4,
Joel Embiid. I mean, we've seen this team get close, but can never make it out of the second round of the NBA playoffs. Now, you're changing coaches again. Doc Rivers out. The doc is out. You're calling in the nurse and Nick Nurse. Is James Harden going to be there? Fred VanVleet on line 2. He's played with Nick Nurse. I actually think he's a better answer for this team than a James Harden.
Fueled by it. Trophies require greatness, but greatness doesn't require trophies, because greatness isn't about what you've done, it's about what you do next.
Want a worry-free way to kill bugs? Zevo traps use light to attract and trap flying insects with no odor and no mess. They work continuously, so you don't have to. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Wendy's Strawberry Frosty is back for the summer, so Tyler's been spending a lot of Frosty time outside.
Ooh. What?
Bro, you look like a strawberry.
It'll even out.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's. Now open late.
Need to be at your best? You need an antiperspirant that goes beyond. Introducing new Dove Men with 72-hour protection plus care for your skin, so you can forget your underarms and focus on being unforgettable. New Dove Men. Forgettable underarms, unforgettable you.
One app, one tap, giving the game. ESPN Plus, remember the name. One app with a slap so mean, got big plays from your phone to the big screen. Yeah, you'll feel like a VIP. Top shelf content blowing up your feed. One app, footwork you can't describe. Out here hitting bombs and doing it live. Rambo with a birdie so dirty, make you want to kick back with a 30 for 30. ESPN Plus, it's in the app. Everything you want right here, no cap.
Is your car's plastic trim faded and milky? Don't worry. Cerakote's ceramic trim coat restores oxidized trim effortlessly. Just wipe it on. It's guaranteed for 200 washes. Even dust won't stick to it. Keep your car looking professional. It's the #1 selling ceramic trim coating on the market. Selling your oxidized, faded trim car? Detailed cars sell for way more than faded cars. Read the thousands of 5-star reviews for yourself. Available now at Walmart.
Fee-free overdrafts. Easy credit building.
Or just you. Plus, buy now and pay over time with Affirm at joybird.com.
Jimmy Butler a superstar?
So I went home yesterday after the show and thought about this.
Okay.
Sincerely.
Okay.
And make sure Stephen A don't respond until I get my audio situated.
Yeah.
I still think Jimmy Butler is a superstar. Here's the thing. Even in your rant yesterday, Stephen A, there were two names that I agree with you, not on the same level. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, right? But I think after that, I would throw Steph Curry in there too. I think after those three, in my mind, it starts to get a little murky. I understand that the way he does it is unorthodox. I understand that he is not the prolific scorer that those guys are. But when you look at his game in totality in terms of what he's been able to do as a defender in this league, I don't think we can sneeze at him getting to 2 finals in a span of 4 years, especially with the current supporting cast. Like, I'm still putting Jimmy in superstar category.
I'm going to pause you because I want to get your audio set. We can come back to you. Mad Dog, your thoughts?
No, I think Stephen A is right. I wouldn't put him there either. He's an intangible player. I love him in fourth quarters, despite what happened for the most part in this series. But I do think he's a cut below the guys that I would list as superstars. He's not, he's not Jokic, he's not Giannis, he's not Embiid, he's not Booker, he's not Lillard, he's not Curry, he's not LeBron, even though LeBron's 38. Those are 7 or 8 right there. Would I put him over Tatum? Would I put him over, I'm trying to think who else. Would I put him over Anthony Davis, who's always hurt? I might do that. But he is a cut below the immortal player that we are talking about in the NBA. He's a touch below it. He's a great player, but he's a touch below. He's not Curry. He's not LeBron. He's not Lillard. He's not Booker. You take Embiid over him.
So, none of this has anything to do with the success he's been able to lead a team to. Because, again, the top of your list, I'll give it to you, Mad Dog, but then it starts to get murky.
If I ask you right now to start a team, you're taking Booker or Butler? You can take Booker.
You can catch First Take every weekday, 10 Eastern on ESPN.
The Golden Knights are going to make that dream a reality. A devotion to destiny. Misfits to champions. The Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup in 2023.
On Fox Sports 98.9 as the Golden Knights blew out the Florida Panthers 9-3 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final to win their first series 4-1 and capture the first championship in franchise history. Giancarlo Stanton and DJ LeMahieu homered off Max Scherzer, and pinch hitter Josh Donaldson drove in the tie-breaking run with a sacrifice fly in the 6th to give the Yankees a win in the Subway Series 7-6. Come from behind over the Mets. Yankees are in third place in the brutal AL East, would be in first or second in any other division in baseball by their record. Pinch hitter Carlos Perez broke a tie with an RBI ground out in the 8th inning as the Oakland Athletics beat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1 for their 7th straight win in front of a spirited crowd at the Coliseum. The A's drew a season-high attendance of 27,759 as Oakland fans held a, quote, reverse boycott to protest the team's planned move to Las Vegas. They seem to me to be applying reverse logic here. That'll show them on the way out the door. Line their pockets. SportsCenter is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Is your check engine light on? Don't ignore it. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and let their professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. They'll even help you find a repair shop if needed. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
There's some major communication breakdown between Stephon Diggs and the offensive side of football. It's not money because he's one of the highest paid receivers. He just did a deal, I don't know, last year. So that's not the issue. I think there's some communication issues there's some communication breakdown. And this is where players say, you know what, man, never mind. I don't feel like dealing with y'all right now.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. We're joined now by Adam Schefter, ESPN Senior NFL Insider, host, of course, of the Adam Schefter Podcast. Morning, Shefty.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Doing well. Key's been speaking receiver to us today, explaining.
Yeah, this Buffalo for, I would say, months now. Like, you've been hearing about things about him being unhappy, Stephon Diggs, since the end of the season. Like, this is not new. What happened was he showed up there this week for the mandatory minicamp after not going through OTAs, which I also thought was a little bit notable. You never know for sure.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/score to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/score.
Hey, Jen, sorry I'm late. I had to stop for gas.
Yeah, I can't believe how much it costs for gas now.
I know, everyone's still talking about how much gas is, but I never pay full price. I just use the free Upside app, and I get cash back for every gallon of gas I buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid real cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yeah, I earn back up to 25 cents a gallon every time I buy gas.
What? That sounds like it could really add up.
It sure does. I've made over $300 already.
Wow, that's serious extra money. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CAR3 for an extra 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill up. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CAR3 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus in your first tank. That's code CAR3 for 25 cents per gallon cash back in your first fill up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
The Golden Knights are going to make that dream a reality. A devotion to destiny. Misfits to champions. The Vegas Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup in 2023.
On Fox Sports 98.9 as the Golden Knights blew out the Florida Panthers 9-3 in Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final to win their first series 4-1 and capture the first championship in franchise history. Giancarlo Stanton and DJ LeMahieu homered off Max Scherzer, and pinch hitter Josh Donaldson drove in the tie-breaking run with a sacrifice fly in the sixth to give the Yankees a win in the Subway Series 7-6. Come from behind over the Mets. Yankees are in third place in the brutal AL East, to be in first or second in any other division in baseball by their record. Pinch hitter Carlos Perez broke a tie with an RBI ground out in the eighth inning as the Oakland Athletics beat the Tampa Bay Rays 2-1 for the seventh straight win in front of a spirited crowd at the Coliseum. The A's drew a season-high attendance of 27,759 as Oakland fans held a, quote, reverse boycott to protest the team's planned move to Las Vegas. They seem to me to be applying reverse logic here. That'll show them on the way out the door. Line their pockets. SportsCenter is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Is your check engine light on? Don't ignore it. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and let their professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. They'll even help you find a repair shop if needed. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
There's some major communication breakdown between Stephon Diggs and the offensive side of football. It's not money because he's one of the highest paid receivers. He just did a deal, last year. So that's not the issue. I think there's some communication issues there's some communication breakdown. And this is where players say, you know what, man, never mind. I don't feel like dealing with y'all right now.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, ESPN Radio. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. We're joined now by Adam Schefter, ESPN senior NFL insider, host, of course, of the Adam Schefter podcast. Morning, Shefty.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Doing well. Key's been speaking receiver to us today, explaining.
Yeah, this topic's right up Key's alley, right?
Yeah, Stephon Diggs and the Bills. What's going on?
I don't know that anybody knows. I know there's a lot of smoke that's been unfolding coming out of Buffalo for, I would say, months now. Like, you've been hearing about things about him being unhappy, Stephon Diggs, since the end of the season. Like, this is not new. What happened was he showed up there this week for the mandatory minicamp after not going through OTAs, which I also thought was a little bit notable. You never know for sure, right? But then when he's essentially not participating in mandatory minicamp yesterday, even though he was there, and Sean McDermott says he's very concerned, and Josh Allen says there's communication issues and something the organization needs to address, and the head coach and the quarterback are acknowledging that there's an issue. Clearly there's something wrong, and it doesn't appear to be money, considering that he's got his money. He's one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. So what is it? Is it, usually with that position, as Key would know, it's about getting the football. I'm sure that may have something to do with this. I don't know that it explains everything. But clearly, Stephon Diggs is not happy, and they need some conversations and meetings, which are going to occur today, to try to figure out if they could repair the situation and move ahead. Whatever